And 213 people have died in building collapses here between 2014 and last year. So 145 buildings collapsing since 2007, according to the Punch. 213 people dying in building collapses between 2014 and last year. This tragedy on Gerrard Road has, of course, increased that number. And for the rest of the hour, we're going to be talking about the latest developments and news from Gerrard Road, and the panel that has been set up to investigate the collapse. We'll also look at the phenomenon of building collapse in general here in Lagos. Lagos, what are the root causes for the negligence that allows it to happen? Joining me to talk about this is Nigeria Info correspondent Emmanuel Onwoka. Emmanuel, welcome back to Hard Facts.
Thank you, President Sandra.
It's unbelievable that my office people call me this as well, but it is what it is. Lagos, I want you to join the conversation as well. Let's have this conversation with you, 0700 993 993 993. Emmanuel, I think the biggest news over the weekend about this collapse was the Premium Times report about a site worker who says that they broke a defective pillar right before the collapse. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, so according to him, he said that they were working on the pillar, so they found out that the pillar had a crack. And obviously it was compromised. So they had to do the work, they had to brace it up. And the engineers, he mentioned two names, Kola and Ola, had told them to begin working on the pillar at that very point in time. And he said that they began, hitting the pillar, trying to remove some parts of it. The engineers had thought that the pillar was a very big one.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very big one, and it to hold sway, not knowing that it was going to trigger the collapse of the building. And so that's what it is. But, the challenge there is that we were not able to actually get him. We are not able to actually get him to, because of the situation of things. Because of the situation of things, we were not able to actually get him to say much concerning, the whole incident. If not, the question on my mind to ask him at that very point in time was the pillar braced before the work began on it? Because
what do you mean braced?
Like supported.
Okay.
You could have what they call it now. I don't know how to call it. I'm not in that field, but you could have some irons, or some stuffs hold the pillar while it's being worked on. I was go ask him that question.
That's something that you wanted to ask.
Yes, that's something I wanted to ask him to know if there was anything like that, so we could understand if he could avoid the incident. But then we didn't really have that time. And if you check the soundbite of it, you see that interview was done, on in a very
hush.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's listen to the soundbite now.
All right.
We're working on the first floor. The engineer Kola and the engineer Ola told us there's one pillar at the first floor. The pillar was crashed, so the engineer told us to break the pillar so that they will fix another pillar there. Because of the pillar is very big, so they have confidence that nothing will happen to the pillar. But they just moved the first pillar then to set another one. So suddenly we heard noise. Things started falling. So we started running. Everywhere we covered with dust. We were running, we were shouting. The owner of the house knew about the pillar, that the pillar was crashed. The pillar was crashed because I used to stay there, we used to sleep there, we used to look around the environment so that we would not steal cement. She told the engineer to ask us to break the pillar. She even saw us there when we were working. They were doing meeting, there were many there, so he gave us money to go and take breakfast.
Have there been any other reported eyewitness accounts that either corroborate or refute this?
Okay, no, there's not been any other eyewitness account. The only person that would have corroborated the story was the person he was working on that pillar with. But that person, the last time we checked, he was at intensive care and we couldn't reach him. So we're trying to keep their profiles very low. But at the same time, we're still trying to dig deeper and find that other guy, because if we are able to reach him, then we're able to get a very very you
A clearer picture.
get a clearer picture about the whole thing. And then we were not aware, because that day they had to leave the hospital as soon as possible, because of things, so we couldn't ask him, oh, what about the engineers you mentioned, Ola and Kola? Did they survive? Were they trapped? So we don't know about their status right now. We don't know if they survived or they were trapped in the collapse. So the only other person we can reach out to right now is in intensive care, and so we can corroborate. He was scared. You see, that's due to my experience in journalism. When a person is very, very scared, to give out information, to talk about something, he's traumatized. He gives a little bit of fact, to his statement, a little bit of credibility to his statement. So he was really scared about speaking about it. He was really scared about his identity. He was really scared about people coming from him, because he said that he was told categorically clear that he should not give up that information.
Did he mention who told him not to give the information out?
He didn't
mention who. Now, has the probe panel held the press conference that they said they were going to hold today?
No. The press conference did not hold so far as I know. He didn't hold
do we know
today.
why? Did they give us an explanation why?
No. I heard it was cancelled. Okay, so on Saturday, we got the information that they were going to brief the press, because a lot of persons were concerned about the nature of the
non-transparency.
Yeah. Oh, you call it non-transparency?
If you don't have the press in the room, you're not being transparent.
Okay, so yes, we were very concerned about it, and family members were speaking up about it, and then all of a sudden, news came
you
in.
don't have family members in the room, you don't have the developers in the room, and you don't have the press in the room. Who do you have in the room? What are you probing?
I don't know. I guess what they had in mind was to call some persons at a very point in time, and then. But you see, nowadays we need transparency. We need all these things to be very there. It to be out in the open. Even let me say the NSAS panel that was set up. You see, even if they allowed people in there, people are still doubtful about how transparent they are. Not to talk of a panel
when
that
you don't
is
have
closed.
people in
Exactly.
there. So no concession has been made about letting the press come in for the sessions?
No, so far. None so far.
And the victims' families are also demanding access to the sittings. Has the government addressed that particular demand?
No. The government has not addressed that particular demand, and we're still reaching out to the Commissioner for Information today. We're still going to reach out to him today, because he was the one that said, okay, it's been cancelled. Okay, so we're going to reach out to him, and we're still going to find out if the government has something to react to the concerns of the families, because a lot of them are agitated. You see, first of all, it was agitation to see the body. Now they've gotten the bodies. Now they're agitating to know more about the situation, what happened on that day. And a lot of persons are raising eyebrows because of how the situation went down.
The Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers is saying that they've still not identified an insurer or broker connected to the building. Now, is there a concern here, and I like how you're smiling at me, but is there a concern here that if liability is placed on the developer, this lack of insurance could complicate compensation to victims?
Yes, there's a concern. Yes, there's a concern. There's actually a very big concern on that aspect, in the sense that, just like you said it now, a lot of persons are concerned about that action actually playing out. And with the recent news that came out that the family of the developer were scattering for his properties,
his wealth,
his wealth and everything, makes a lot of people more concerned about what's the next thing. Is like they have an information that something's going to happen soon, so everybody has to split theirs and take theirs and move ahead at this very point in time, because that information came out like barely 3 days or 2 days after his death. After it was confirmed he was dead, and that information came out. So everybody's like, what's the hurry? What's the rush? Why's the rush? He's not even buried yet. So it raised a lot of eyebrows. And now that they've not been able to find an insurer, it gives the fact that, okay, I don't know how it works legally. We're still yet to get that fact out. But I think, the concerns heightened when that statement came out from the council.
The police commissioner Hakeem Odumoshu says that the IG has set up a special team to investigate any criminal wrongdoing in the collapse, led by an AIG. Do we have any visibility yet on how the police investigation is going? Do we know if anyone is being questioned?
No, I don't know if anyone is being questioned right now about that very situation. But I think the police, the panel set up by the police has to wait for this panel of inquiry
to finish.
Yes, because it is whatever they come up with. That's the way the police can begin working on it, because they are the ones that says, oh, okay, the error came out from here and the error came out here, and this is who is a criminal in this case, and who then the police can take it up from there and start their proceedings just the way it's supposed to be.
Emmanuel Onwoka is our correspondent at Nigeria Info. He's been on this story since it broke 2 weeks ago. You've heard him several times on the station, giving us updates as they come. I want to hear from you, Lagos. What are your thoughts on the ongoing investigation? What are your thoughts on everything you've heard here so far? 014657190. If you're a woman, call us on that number. If you're a man, 0700-993-993. 0700-993-993. We've got WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. And we're streaming on Facebook. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. YouTube Nigeria Info FM. Hello, thank you for calling us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning.
Good
evening. Sorry.
Good evening. It's okay. What's your name?
My name is Samuel.
Hi, Samuel. Welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I just want to make a contribution over this collapse building. Truly, just like the correspondent has been talking about, for any correction to be done, I'm a prospective builder.
Okay.
So this is my field.
Okay.
So for any correction to be done on such instances, the structure or the pillar in question is supposed to be braced.
Okay.
And bracing is a support, is a temporal support that could serve before the correction is rectified, is made. So I think that is missing in that particular instance. So that could be a major factor for that collapse. So that's just my contribution.
All right. Thank you for calling to contribute. We've got Francis Namani, who says he's watching live from Amagunze in Enugu State. And he says, the issue of prevailing building collapses in Lagos is undoubtedly very bad. A special committee should be constituted to determine the immediate and remote causes and offer remedial solutions to the ugly development. All right, Francis, thank you very much for your message. Namdi Akujobi says, as for the Gerrard Road victims, I honestly pray that they find justice, because our judicial system has proven time and time again to be incapable of delivering justice to the common man. Igoni Phillips says, the engineer who ordered the removal of the said column or pillar is an amateur or just arrogating the name engineer to himself. Let's take another call. 99.3. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
Good evening. My name is Fumi.
Hi, Fumi. Welcome.
I'm actually calling from Bavaria.
We're glad to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. There's something I actually want to correct about us in this country. I think we are so wrapped even about our judgment. Nobody actually knew the causes of that matter. I'm talking about the collapse building in Ikoyi. But let's just wait till we have the outcome of the panel of inquiry that the governors have actually set up. People are just saying this could be what has caused the building to collapse, one thing or the other. Nobody really know the actual facts. I can tell you, even in my street, somebody was saying that he said they put jams. They there's a more to that particular thing. But let's just be calm enough. Let's see the outcome of the panel of inquiry. So whatever they see, then people there will take a step aside.
Oh no, sorry about that. Well, if you've been listening to Nigeria Info, no one has officially said anything about what caused the collapse, because of course we're waiting for the official statement from the panel when they're done with their investigation. What we have brought you though are eyewitness accounts, and according to one of the eyewitness, one of the survivors who we spoke with, here's what he had to say.
We were working on the first floor. The engineer Kola and the engineer Ola told us there is one pillar at the first floor. The pillar was crashed. So the engineer told us to break the pillar so that they will fix another pillar there. Because of the pillar is very big. So they have confidence that nothing will happen to the pillar, but they just move the first pillar and then to set another one. So suddenly we heard noise. Things started falling. So started running. Everywhere we covered with dust. We were running, we were shouting. The owner of the house know about the pillar, that the pillar was crashed. The pillar was crashed because I used to stay there, we used to sleep there, we used to look around the environment so that we would not steal cement. She told the engineer to ask us to break the pillar. She even saw us there when we were working. They were doing meeting, there were many there, so he gave us money to go and take breakfast.
All right, Lagos. And then you've also heard from our correspondent who's been out in the field covering the story for quite a while now. He's talked to us about other eyewitness accounts. He said that other people who could corroborate this story are currently unavailable because they are still trying to recover. And they're also doing their best to keep their identities private so that powers beyond our control do not reach them and, get them to not speak on the record. We still do not have press able to go into where the panel is sitting. The families of the victims are also not allowed to go into where the panel is sitting. The victims' families are demanding access to the sittings. Government has not addressed that yet. We are hoping that government eventually does. And then I mentioned, of course, before you started calling, that the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers is saying that they've still not identified an insurer or broker connected to this building that collapsed on Gerrard Road. Lagos, what are your thoughts on the investigation process so far? 0700-993-993-993 01465-7190. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. We've got WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Hello, thanks for calling us.
Good evening, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm Victor Sazua.
Welcome, Victor.
Hello?
Hello, Victor. Go ahead.
I'm Victor Sazua, yeah. I'm not surprised to see all this thing going like this. We are talking of number of people, 40-something people died. Odumosu is coming here to tell us stories. Fashola also come there to tell us, see the camera. IG is coming here to tell us they are on it. People have just died for their mistake, for their wrongdoing. Nobody owned the house. The person that owned the house doesn't have a name. Why are we like this? Why are we so wicked? The Committee of Nations, they are laughing at Nigeria. They are laughing at us. They are laughing at us. So have a nice day, Sandra.
Have a nice day. Thank you very much for calling. All right, let's take a look at the messages we've got on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080, like I said, 959-75-805. The people who are involved have gone. Whom are we going to arrest? Whatever we are hearing is pure story. You didn't leave your name, but thank you very much for your message. Sandra, I don't think the police needs any clearance from any panel before proceeding with investigation, especially in a situation whereby criminal negligence is suspected. Thank you and good evening to Emmanuel and yourself. Kunle from Nyokoba with that message. Kunle, thank you very much. We never get justice for anything in Nigeria. That's a message from Ehizioge. Ehizioge, thank you very much. Not having neither press nor the deceased family at the panel is shady, and the integrity of the panel is highly in doubt. Prince from Aja with that message. All right, Prince, thank you very much. Let them compensate those that were wrecked by the building. Emeka Ndumele from AJ City says. Emeka, thanks for your message. Bashiru from Katsina State says, oh well, that's a message from our big three. But thank you for getting in touch. We appreciate that. We've got this one here, Sandra. So there's possibility that there's no insurance in place for the buildings. Damn it! That's a message from an anonymous listener. We've got this one here from Elijah who says, Sandra, we want to know the owner of that building. Lagos State government are trying to hide the owner. All right. You make a lot of other speculative comments in there. We've got to go from Ikeja, who says, Sandra, there have been lots of inquiry and the credibility of such inquiries. Examples are the Abule Ado explosions that happened in 2020, the NSAS panel of inquiry. But I hope that this inquiry will give us a good result. To go from Ikeja there. That's the final thought I'll take from you, and then I'll let you go. Emmanuel, we have a lot of doubt. We have a lot of skepticism on the part of the people about the entire process. Is that something that you're seeing on the ground as well? When you were reporting the story, was that also something you were seeing?
Yes, a lot of people are doubting the competency of the panel to actually fish out the truth about the whole thing.
Okay.
A lot of people feel that everybody, it's been, the whole thing, they just want to press it down. They just want to, get it overdone with, it happened. Okay, let's move on, those kind of situations. And, that is what some of the families are seeing. And that is why a lot of them are raising alarm. Yeah. Now we have to come to the part of the families. A lot of them are persons who are just struggling. Okay, so their families are not very well, they're not the very popular persons out there. They are just bricklayers, molders, plasters, little persons who do minor labor just to get on the surf. If you heard the soundtrack of the guy, he lives there. Okay, he comes all the way from, one of the states in the West, and comes here to Lagos and lives there primarily in the building. He has no other thing. He just earns barely 5,000 naira per day for each work. So they don't really have that much. So that they saw him alive is enough for them, and they just want to go.
Yeah. Thank you, Emmanuel Onwuka, for your reporting of this story. Lagos will take a break. When we come back, we'll take your thoughts. So don't go away. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. We have people who are trying to call, but just keep the thoughts in your head. Keep it fresh. Hold it fresh for me. When we come back from this break, we'll take all of that right here on Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
finances like this. If I didn't know better, I would think you had a garden where money grows.
Garden, you say? I've got a whole field where money grows.
Oh, shit. Tell your girl about it.
Capital Field. That's the name of my secret. From personal to business loans when I need them, to high-yield savings and investment plans, to asset management services, my wealth partner always comes through. I even introduced my uncle to them, who got a prompt delivery of oil and gas products for his project. Not to mention bespoke financial advisory services to go with it, all in one place. Come join me now. Call 0145474432 or visit www.capitalfield.com and start slaying your money goals to Capital Field. Choose the field where money grows.
To grow a business in Nigeria, your connections have to be strong. And I'm not talking about some godfather in the villa or plugs in the corridors of power. No, it's the small, everyday connections like how quickly do you address customer queries? How effectively do you track your staff progress? Yeah, that's the kind of connection we're talking about. And to be that connected, you need a reliable partner like Airtel Business.
That's right. With Airtel Business, you enjoy reliable, unlimited fixed internet that keeps all your business connections seamless. You also enjoy 24/7 dedicated care lines. Contact Airtel Business at ng.airtel.com today.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Good morning, sir.
Do you finally have the 10 laptops I ordered?
Sir, actually, let's look at it next week.
What? You've been saying next week for the past 2 weeks. Are you sure you can handle larger orders?
Yes, this next week will be the final next week. Hello? Hello?
Missing business opportunities can be painful. So, if you need a loan to buy more stock, take on more orders, or grow your business, visit renmoney.com or call 0700 5500 to apply for a business loan.
Dem no dey tanda one place dey wait for life o. You go sharparly waka go meet am. No be how many chance wey you get na im matter o. Na wetin you take am do na be the koko. As day dey break dey go, cup after cup, with better smell wey dey tinkolo body. And omyomyo taste of Nescafe 3-in-1. Your day don start gidigba be dat o. E con still finish gidigba. Nescafe don land now for sachet for shinkily 70 naira. With Nescafe, everything don start be dat o.
Are you a professional? Want to earn passive income?
eHandtech.com, Nigeria's fast-growing digital academy, is your plug.
Oh yes. On eHandtech.com, we provide digital classes to thousands of waiting students across the globe.
From any location.
Simply register today as an instructor to provide digital classes to thousands of students. You can review your course, track your earnings, know number of students signed up for your course, and interact through Q&A. Visit www.ehandtech.com/instructor or email info@handtechdigitalconsult.com.
Hey, you, what's going on? It's your deals plug, and as usual, I've got the most fantastic information on the market. And guess what? It's tailor-made just for you. Now, by now, I'm sure you know that Jumia Black Friday has started since the start of November, and it's going all the way until the end of the month. And guess what? Jumia is doing something really fantastic, because we've got some really great brand deals on the Umidigi Brand Day that's coming this Friday on Jumia Black Friday. Imagine you can get up to 55% off Umidigi products this Jumia Black Friday. And of course, you can get smartphones for 39,900 naira, earbuds at just 9,900 naira, smartwatches at 16,900 naira, and so much more. And guess what? What can 5K do for you right now? Yes, right now, 5K is a big deal. But do you know what's really big deal? It's Jumia Black Friday. So what if I told you that with 5K or less, you can get a laptop bag, power bank, sneakers, watches, bags, and many more? I know you think it's too good to be true. Oh yeah, hurry right now. Hurry down to the Jumia site or download the Jumia app to start shopping. Hold on, that's not all. You also enjoy free returns on Jumia Black Friday. You are free to return items bought at no extra charge. You can initiate a return within 15 days for official store items and 7 days for other eligible items if you receive a wrong, damaged, defective, or counterfeit item. You get a full refund including shipping fees, and you can initiate a return by visiting the My Order tab on your app or the website. You can also call us on 0700 600 0000. That number again is 0700 600 0000.
You are listening listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. It's 5:33 at the moment, Lagos. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Before the break, I spoke with Nigeria Info correspondent Emmanuel Onwoka, who has been on this story, the Gerrard Road collapse story, the Gerrard Road building collapse story, since it happened 2 weeks ago. Now, 2 weeks later, what do we know? Well, not a lot, because the panel investigating this collapse has barred the media from reporting this story. Well, not reporting this story, but from sitting in the space where they are conducting the investigation. They've barred access to the media. They've also barred access to family members of the victims, right? So there's been a lot of controversy about the press not being allowed to witness the panel sittings. Also controversy about the families of the victims not being allowed to access these sittings. Now, I told you as well before the break that the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers is saying that they've still not identified an insurer or broker connected to the building. But even more important than all of these things that you've just heard is the biggest news that broke over the weekend from Premium Times about this site worker who gave this particular interview.
We were working on the first floor. The engineer, Kola, and the engineer Ola told us there's one pillar at the first floor. The pillar was crashed. So the engineer told us to break the pillar so that they will fix another pillar there. Because of the pillar is very big, so they have confidence that nothing will happen to the pillar. But they just moved the first pillar and then to set another one. So suddenly the head noise things started falling. So started running. Everywhere we covered with dust. We were running, we were shouting. The owner of the house know about the pillar, that the pillar was crashed. The pillar was crashed because I used to stay there, I used to sleep there, I used to look around the environment so that we would not steal cement. She told the engineer to ask us to break the pillar. She even saw us there when we were working. They were doing meeting, there were many there, so he gave us money to go and take breakfast.
So let's talk a bit more about what that survivor is saying. You have a laborer claiming that right before the building collapsed, he was ordered to break a pillar because there was a problem with it. And it was as he and his colleagues were breaking it that the whole thing started shaking. Now, I know that there are many people listening right now who work in construction, engineers, masons, architects. One of them has already called in before. But I want you to call in and tell me, is it normal to break a pillar on a story building like this during construction? Again, I know nothing about construction, so if you're an engineer, I'd love to hear from you. You're an architect, I'd love to hear from you. You're a mason, I'd love to hear from you. Is it normal to break a pillar on a story building like this during construction? And if this is something that happens, if at times a need arises to break a pillar, how is it done? What precautions are taken? Are there any types of reinforcements that are used to bear the weight while the pillar is worked on? One of the engineers who called in earlier on talked about braces, that there has to be a brace. Does there always have to be a brace, or is this simply something that is never done? Is there no safe way to take down a pillar when the building has already gotten to that height? Remember, we're talking about 22 stories here. So if it is never done, if there's no way to make a correction to a pillar safely, what do you think of this testimony that workers were ordered to break the pillar? If you didn't hear it, again, let me play the survivor's account for you.
We were working on the first floor. The engineer Kola and the engineer Ola told us there's one pillar at the first floor. The pillar was crashed. So the engineer told us to break the pillar so that they will fix another pillar there. Because of the pillar is very big. So they have confidence that nothing will happen to the pillar. But they just moved the first pillar and then to set another. So suddenly we heard noise. Things started falling. So started running. Everywhere we covered with dust. We were running, we were shouting. The owner of the house know about the pillar. That the pillar was crashed. The pillar was crashed because I used to stay there, I used to sleep there, I used to look around the environment so that we would not steal cement. She told the engineer to ask us to break the pillar. She even saw us there when we were working. They were doing meeting, there were many there, so he gave us money to go and take breakfast.
A survivor's account there, one of the laborers allegedly. Now, but taking a step back, I also want to ask, how does a construction project end up with a defective pillar? I'm not talking about Gerrard Road specifically. I'm talking in general now. What goes into constructing a pillar? This is a question for the engineers as well. What goes into constructing a pillar? What factors can lead to a pillar being defective? How early can such a defect be detected? How is it possible for a construction project to go very far before someone notices that, wait, this pillar is not good, Lagos 014657190. Call me on that number if you're a woman. If you're a man, 0700 993 993 993 0700 993 993 993. Unfortunately, we don't have WhatsApp available anymore. The tablet is not available anymore, but you can leave us your thoughts on Facebook where we're streaming live. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. Just quickly go there, leave your comment, and we'll take it live on the show. I'd really love to hear from engineers and architects and masons and people who are in construction. 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hello, good evening. All right, call back if you can. Hello, good evening.
Sandra.
Good to have you on the show.
I want to ask.
Hello? Oh, that's sad. 99.3?
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
Good evening, President Sandra.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, when constructing a building and you have a defect on that magnitude of the kind of a building, there's nothing you can do just to bring the whole building down. Nothing like brace, because the size of the building and the size of that particular column that we are trying to fix is the one holding the building. So if you are taking one out, that means you are affecting the whole distribution of load. And from the account from the survivor, that is what just happened because the distribution of load left a particular spot and was moving around. That's why the building dropped. So if that's what really happened, there's nothing they can do to bring down the whole building when you are facing a column in any building.
I see. Are you an engineer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now, over to my second question. How does a construction project end up with a defective pillar to begin with? Anyone, not just this one, any construction project?
Yeah, most of the time when you're constructing a building, especially a column, when the right materials are not used, especially when you're mixing, your mixture is not properly mixed, it's not to the equivalent level that it's supposed to be. You have defection like that. Even on buildings, without the column, the building, when you put on the slab and it's not properly placed, it gives you that defection.
I see. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for calling us. We've got Paul and Ebeda on the line. Hi, Paul.
Yeah, good evening, President Sandra.
Good evening, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm very well.
Let me first congratulate you for the award you won last time. I've been trying to reach you. It's not been possible.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
God bless you.
Bless you as well, sir.
Yeah, concerning this issue, the falling or collapsed house, you see, that column is carrying a load that is not well distributed, that the entire building could not carry.
Right.
Now, we have 18 mm iron
Okay.
We have 16 mm. We have 12 mm.
Okay.
We have 8 mm. Now, if you carry the load that's supposed to be carried by 18 mm to 16 mm iron, definitely with that kind of stage of, the kind of level of house that you have there, definitely is going to collapse. If it did not collapse during the time of construction, after construction it will collapse because the iron that formed the foundation of the column is not eligible enough to carry such a load.
But
that is what caused to that crack.
But is one pillar enough to bring down? So a problem with just one pillar, is that enough to bring down the entire building?
Yes. The moment there is a default in one pillar, the other pillars will be shaken. Now, when you spread the load, it is in building, in construction, it is assumed that when you spread the load, each of the columns or the pillars shares in carrying that entire building.
Right.
So when there is default in one, definitely the other ones will give up.
I see. Paul, thank you so much for calling. We've got Demola in Ajao, who's a first-time caller. Hi, Demola.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sandra.
Thank you for calling. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, sorry, quick one. I just want to make a contribution to this.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
To your question about one column giving way. If it's possible for it to cause the coming down of the building. Yes, it actually is. Because the work which a column is actually doing in a building, especially in a high-rise building, is to take all the...
Hello, Demola?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, to take all the...
I say the column is the one that takes all the loads from the top of the building down to the foundation.
Right.
So, the question I want to ask is, this particular column that was being demolished...
Oh no, Damola, please call back if you can. We've got Akwa Delta Akwa who says, Madam Sandra, the person speaking about the removal of a pillar should just disappear because that statement incriminates everyone. Remember NSARS. One pillar is not enough to bring down the whole building, but it's possible that the pillars were already failing. That's a message on Facebook. Akwa Delta also continues to say that the total load from the top goes to each of the columns. Number one, if the concrete and reinforcement is not of sufficient size, then the column can begin to fail. Number two, also, if the ground upon which the foundation concrete is failing, it can lead to the columns failing. All right, thank you for your message. By the way, Wemimo had a conversation with a builder, with a mason, with an engineer. Very fantastic conversation. You should listen to it. It's available on our website, Nigeria Info FM. It does such a brilliant job explaining what exactly goes into construction. So look out for that conversation on our website. It's already available. Go and listen and, get education. Education is always amazing. Nigeria Info FM, nigeriainfo.fm, that's our website. Bakare is in Ikorodu. Hello, Bakare. Thank you very much for calling us. Good evening.
Because I'm a construction person too.
Okay, good.
So
good to have you on the show.
What they are discussing.
All right, talk to me, Bakare. What happened here?
Yeah, my name is Bakare Adeniyi.
Okay.
I'm a quantity surveyor.
Okay.
But from experience, I've been in construction for more than 15 years.
Okay.
So immediately I listened to the voice note of that guy. I think there is an issue with the column.
Okay.
And in construction of that magnitude, we call it frame structures.
Okay.
So in frame structure, blocks are insignificant in most cases. It's only the column and the beams that carry the building.
Okay.
So from our elementary studies, once there is an issue, maybe in a story building, they call something underpinning. You have to dig the foundation. But in this type of building, a 22-story building, they are likely going to use pie foundation, and the pie for that structure cannot be less than maybe 40 or 60 meters into the ground.
I see.
So to notice a crack on one of the columns, it shows the column has failed from the foundation.
I see.
The last option is to demolish the house. There is nothing they can do to remedy it.
Now, I have to ask, what kinds of tests are usually done on pillars while they're being erected to ensure that they are strong enough to support the building as it rises?
Yes, what the first thing to do if you are building such anything that is more than bungalow is to do a proper soil test.
Okay.
Once you do a thorough soil test, you'll be able to know the depth and the suitable type of foundation. So, but in this part of the world, we have seen people trying to compromise, and once you compromise the depth and some of there is dimension, if it is a circular column, we have recommended diameter, we have recommended mix for these materials, and recommended bars of iron. That is this reinforcement. They may say 25 mm. We have 25 mm. We have 20 mm. Where they say they should use 25, if they use 20, they are going to be in trouble. If they say they should use 10 numbers of reinforcement, if they use 8, they may have problems. So these are the things that cause these failures.
Bakara, you've been so helpful. Thank you so much for calling. Moses in Lekki, hello.
Hello, Sandra.
Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, I have this simple example in a layman's point of view.
Okay.
A pillar is like a bone, right?
Okay.
Let's say the leg bone is cracked, having a crack. Can you fix that bone while I'm standing on that bone?
No, you can't.
You understand?
Well, I don't know,
So
Sha.
what
Doctors
they
will
are
have to
trying-
answer.
What they are trying to do is like fixing the bone while the leg is still standing. So what do you expect? Hello?
Okay, Moses.
You understand?
I understand. Thank you very much for explaining it like that. It paints a much clearer picture. But you know, something else I also want us to take a very quick look at, we don't have time, we've got just 5 minutes before we have to go, is this probe panel that has been set up. You heard Emmanuel Onwuka confirm it. The probe panel has still not agreed to admit the press into their proceedings. Family members are also excluded. You heard Emmanuel say that in his conversations with people, they don't seem thrilled by this. In fact, he believes that it's reducing the amount of trust in the panel and its processes. And I want to know whether you agree. Do you think that this decision to have the panel meet in camera is undermining public trust in the process? Last week, I told you that the government's reason for doing this was because the hall is small. So again, I want to know what you think about that reason. Do you think it's valid? Do you agree with those who say, it's a weak excuse. All they need to do is get a bigger hall? Let's talk to Michael in Aja. Hi, Michael.
Mike, Sandra.
It's okay. Good to have you on the show.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Do you know what?
What?
As I stand, my lower abdomen is like contrasting.
Okay.
And I am feeling a kind of cold to my subconscious mind.
Okay.
I see a situation of suicide.
Okay.
Now, what is a column? A column is either a thin one or a fat one. Now, if you are designing, you do soil tests. What does soil tests tell us? It tells us the capacity bearing of the soil. When it is at a certain Newton level, not less than 50 Newton, is said to be sand, a bearer. If it is less than that, it's said to be watery. Now, that is where we start designing from. Before we consider the height of the structure, then we'll now decide, is it thin or fat column? Now, design now includes selection of rod. Like I told you, 25 mm, 15, 16, 12, and others. Then for every column, comparing to the load capacity, for a fat column, you could have 20 mm to design the load bearing capacity.
Hello? Oh no, I was quite enjoying that. Oh no. Oh, I was quite enjoying that. Well, the lecture, not the reason why we're having the lecture. But thank you very much for calling, Michael. I do hope. Well, we are out of time, so unfortunately, we can't even keep this conversation going. But it's a story that is dear to my heart, so I will stay on it, even though most people have moved on. I will stay on it until we get to the end of it, whatever the end looks like. But in the meantime, find me on social media, Sandra Ezekwesili, Ezekwesili online. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, Tanvita Kaushik and Hamid Olarawajo will face off right here on our I Beg to Differ tournament. 3 o'clock will bring you all the stories that break tomorrow, 3 of them. 5 o'clock, Nigeria will play, so I will not be on air at 5 o'clock. Until tomorrow at 3, those were your hard facts, Lagos. Have yourselves a fantastic, fantastic evening. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
Dem no dey tanda one place dey wait for life o. You go sharply waka go meet am. No be how many chance wey you get na im matter o. Na wetin you take am do.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.